AEW Dynamite starts off with Adam Cole. He cut his first promo back from returning. He basically gets on the mic and bash MJF, talk about how MJF is insecure, he's not a good human being, and that basically you can't trust MJF, and talks about how much he hates MJF. Then he ends up calling MJF out. The theme music hits, but MJF don't come out, and he pops up on the Titantron. MJF ends up saying that he doesn't trust nobody and that he used to be ruthless, but then Adam Cole came into his life, told him how to trust, but ended up betraying him and ended up tricking him. And he ends up saying that the person that he is today is all Adam Cole's fault and that he would never trust anybody again. And then he talked about how Adam Cole wants to fight him and how much he wants the match, but it's not going to happen, and that he's going to keep stringing Adam Cole along to keep wanting that match, keep earning for that match, keep on wanting that match, but never end up getting that match. Then Adam Cole ends the promo by saying that whenever he gets his hands on him, he's just going to destroy him. I like the angle of MJF admitting to the whole, betrayal and all that. I didn't like Adam Cole's part. I didn't like Adam Cole acting like as MJF is like this. MJF is a bad person, but let's not act like Adam Cole wasn't just a bad guy either. Adam Cole was acting like he's just innocent. I wish they would have went from an angle of Adam Cole admitting that he was a bad person, admitting that he was jealous, and that he admits that he's the reason for MJF being the person, and he's trying to change MJF again, if that makes sense. I don't like the angle of Adam Cole just being this super good guy that was always innocent, because that should not be the case. I like MJF's perspective of him being the guy that's never going to trust because of Adam Cole. I like that angle, but Adam Cole perspective needs to change a bit, in my opinion, to make this story make sense, because it doesn't make sense if you're just going to have Adam Cole just be this super pop good guy that was always good, which wasn't the case. Now we end up getting Big Bill, Brian Keith versus FTR. Not going to speak too much on this. FTR ends up winning, but after the match, the Outrunners ends up coming in and they just celebrate in the ring. I don't know why this was added. I don't understand it, to be honest with you, unless they're going to start appearing on Dynamite. I know the Outrunners and FTR typically be on Collision, but I don't know what they're doing on Collision is that important to really be on Dynamite. And I don't really think we needed this match. I feel like this match could have been strapped and you could have had something else, because I know that Chris Jericho wants another opportunity at the Ring of Honor titles. So unless FTR is going to get involved in that, then I guess. But even then, I feel like you didn't really need this match to really progress that story. I feel like you could have just done it in a backstage segment, in my opinion. But it is what it is. But this segment and this whole thing shouldn't even happen, if I'm being honest. We end up getting a quick Acclaimed segment in MVP. The Acclaim was getting interviewed by Renee, but then MVP and Shelton Benjamin interrupt, and MVP is basically trying to recruit them. The Acclaim end up declining the offer, but then MVP ends up just laughing it off and leaving. I don't think this story is going to go anywhere either, because I don't know how this would play out, because they're already going to feud with Swerve, so I don't know how they're going to feud with two people unless they get more members to have an actual tag team, which I'm assuming Shelton would be in that tag team. We just don't know who the other members are yet. They're slowly building this up, so we'll see if this story actually progresses, which I think can be a good story if built right, but due to the AEW's late booking as of recently, I don't have high hopes, but I have a little faith that this, if they ever pull the trigger on this eventually, it can actually work. We end up getting Private Party, the Young Bucks. They end up having a quick segment where Private Party wants another opportunity, but the Young Bucks basically declined. They end up saying that that was their last opportunity. Then afterwards, Stokely ends up appearing, basically rubbing it in their face about how they should have had him by his side, how they lost, and how they're basically finished. They're done, they're over. And then he ends up saying that we all know that Isaiah is the true solo star of the group anyway. I don't know why AEW been doing this recently. They did this recently with John Moxley, calling them a mid-card act and saying that they've been in the same spot since they've been, and they never going to, go up the hierarchy. Then the Young Bucks did the same thing, saying that they're going to be nothing but a mid-card. Then you got Stokely saying that the main star of the group is Isaiah. Okay, I'm not going to say they're burying Private Party, because I don't want to go that far, because I hate the word buried by wrestling fans, because people use that word way too much. But I get when people say that, because you're going to have all these wrestlers say the same thing, and then they keep losing, proving their point. It's like, come on. Now, if you're going to have them keep saying things like this, you got to eventually pull the trigger and have them win to prove the doubters wrong. But You can't just keep having Private Party keep on losing and losing and then proving everyone right. Now, fans think this to a degree, but you also not say this. Like, you don't just say that to prove us right. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I just feel like they're doing it a bit too much with Private Party constantly telling them what fans already probably assume, but don't prove us right. That's just me. But maybe I'm tripping. We end up getting a elite segment afterwards. They end up wishing Kenny Omega a happy birthday. But then they end up showing a birthday cake, all that. But then they end up pulling out fake intestines all over the cake, to insult Kenny Omega injury. Um, this angle I don't mind actually. If Kenny Omega is returning, I'm assuming he has to return soon. There's no way you do this angle and he's like months away. That just doesn't make sense. I understand this is birthday, but still, if it's months away, there's really no reason to really do this because this doesn't. I'm not gonna say it doesn't add to the fire, but I feel like they already have a feud. You don't really need to do anything right now if he's months away from recovering, months away from actually being in the ring. But if he's finna soon come back, then sure, this is a good angle. But if it's like months away, there's really no reason to do this angle. That's just my perspective though. Now we end up getting the conglomeration versus the elite. They was in a match, a six-man tag match, but ends up getting interrupted by the Blackpool Combat Club. They end up attacking Orange Cassidy, interfering, interrupting, causing a disqualification. Um, yeah, they end up interrupting the match. Top Flight tries to come in, try to make the save, but they can't. Dark Order tries to come in and end up making the save. They end up taking them out. Blackpool Combat Club is basically going on a rampage of taking out everybody. They end up doing the same thing later in the show. They took out Top Flight again and end up taking out Dark Order again. Then Dark Order and Top Flight got on the microphone, basically end up saying they're going to continue to fight for AEW and try to take down Blackpool Combat Club. I hope this story hits. I really do. Because I'm interested in the story. I just don't know what the end game is here. Because this end game sounds very familiar. Not the same, but sounds similar to what the Elite were trying to do, which is take over AEW. So let's hope that the whole takeover AEW storyline actually works out, unlike the Elite storyline. Let's hope it actually works out, especially if you're going to do this big angle with Bryan Danielson retiring. So let's hope that works because I have little faith, but I'm holding out. I'm hoping that this works because lately AEW, outside of Hangman and Swerve, their stories haven't been all that, and outside of Mariah May and Tony Storm as well. So I give the MJF and Will Ospreay stuff great as well, but very recently they just haven't been hitting. So let's just hope because they need something. They need a storyline. Hopefully this is it. After this, we get Shelton Benjamin versus Io Rush. Not gonna talk about the match. Shelton, of course, won. Then afterwards, MVP gets on the microphone and basically calls out Swerve to have a match with Shelton. This match is official. I'm just curious to why is it happening 2 weeks out? That's the only thing I'm kind of confused by. I don't understand why is it happening 2 weeks out. I assume it would just happen the very next week. Maybe 2 weeks out they have a big surprise. That's why. But if it's just a match, I don't see why it should happen 2 weeks out. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a good thing it's happening 2 weeks out. But I'm excited for the match nonetheless. Then we get the main event. Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. Not Hangman. Versus Christian Cage. Hangman Adam Page ends up coming out at the end of the match, costing Hangman the match. Hangman with a buckshot lariat allows Christian to pick up the victory. Overall, this Dynamite wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It was very mid, but it wasn't bad. It was just very mid. It was some stuff I left out, of course, because it's just not that important. But overall, it was a mid episode. AEW Dynamite, they have potential. They really do. It's just about using it to its fullest potential. And right now, they're not. But they have stories that I'm somewhat interested in, and they have potential. They just got to know how to book it right. Hopefully, it improves, but as of right now, it's just not looking good. But you guys let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.